Hooked cross, Hakenkreuz. The hooked cross, or Hakenkreuz in German, became one of the most infamous symbols of the 20th century when Adolf Hitler finalized the Nazi Party's flag in 1925. The design featured a black swastika, tilted at a 45-degree angle, inside a white circle on a red background. These colors were not random. They deliberately echoed the old Imperial German flag, while rejecting the black, red, gold colors of the Weimar Republic. The swastika itself was twisted into a racial emblem meant to symbolize so-called Aryan supremacy. Before this, the Nazis used the eagle as their main emblem, derived from the Roman legions and carried through the Holy Roman Empire, the Teutonic Knights, and Prussia. Hitler adapted it into two forms: the Parteiadler, facing left for the Nazi Party, and the Reichsadler, facing right as Germany's national symbol. But Hitler didn't invent the swastika. It had already appeared in Germany in 1919, used by the Order of the New Templars, a nationalist occult society in Austria, and its origins go back thousands of years. In India, the swastika was a sacred sign of luck, prosperity, and well-being, appearing in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. It was also seen in ancient Greece for Zeus, in Rome for Jupiter, and in Norse mythology for Thor. Even the Navajo and Hopi peoples of North America used it as a good luck charm. The U.S. 45th Infantry Division even had a swastika patch before the war. Despite this long, positive history, the Nazis' use of the swastika left it permanently associated with hatred and genocide. The SS runes, double sig rune. One of the most recognizable Nazi symbols was the double sig rune, representing the SS or Schutzstaffel. Designed in 1933 by SS Commander Walter Heck, it looked like two lightning bolts. The runes doubled as both the initials SS and a slogan, "Victory, Victory." The symbol came from the Sowilo rune, an ancient Germanic character for the sun, but in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Völkisch mystics reinterpreted it to mean victory. And the Nazis eagerly adopted this. The SS, Hitler's paramilitary elite, went on to become central to terror, surveillance, and atrocities across Nazi-occupied Europe. Totenkopf, death's head. Another symbol closely tied to the SS was the Totenkopf, or death's head. The skull emblem had a long tradition in German military history, first worn by elite Prussian cavalry regiments known as the Death's Head Hussars. It was also used by the German Imperial Army in World War I. The SS adopted it in the early 1930s, starting with Hitler's personal bodyguards, and later made it the emblem of the Totenkopf-Verbände, the SS units that ran Nazi concentration camps. The regular German army also used versions of the skull insignia, but it was the SS that forever linked it with mass death and brutality. Wolf's hook, Wolfsangel. The Wolfsangel, or wolf's hook, was a medieval German heraldic symbol originally inspired by wolf traps. It was believed to hold magical powers to ward off wolves and appeared on town seals and banners in forested regions. In the 15th century, it was also used as a symbol of liberty during peasant uprisings and the 30 Years' War. During the Nazi era, it was adopted by several Waffen-SS divisions. In modern times, it has become a favored symbol among neo-Nazi groups, particularly the Aryan nations, who often stylize it with a sword in the middle. Other SS runes. The SS also used a variety of runic symbols, each carrying its own ideological weight. Odal rune represented heritage, land, and bloodline purity. Iwas rune, worn by Hitler's adjutants, including Rudolf Hess. Hagel rune, a symbol of absolute faith, awarded by Himmler to senior SS officers. Life rune, used by the SS's Lebensborn program, which promoted Aryan families. Death rune, an inverted life rune used on graves and documents instead of the Christian cross. Tiwaz rune, linked to the god Tyr, representing military leadership and war. Iron Cross. The Iron Cross was a long-standing German military decoration, first created in Prussia and later used by the German Empire. Its design came from the medieval Teutonic Order. Under the Nazis, the medal was altered to include a swastika. After the war, it was banned, but in later decades it was revived by white supremacists, while also being adopted in non-political subcultures like biker gangs and skateboarding, where it symbolized rebellion rather than Nazism. Celtic Cross. The Celtic cross, a Christian symbol originating in medieval Ireland, was also hijacked in the 20th century. In the 1930s, it was used by Norwegian Nazis and later by groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and modern neo-Nazis. These groups usually favor a squared version of the design, which is now widely recognized as a generic white supremacist symbol. Broken Sun Cross and Black Sun. The Broken Sun Cross, a variation of the ancient sun wheel, was used by the Thule Society, a proto-Nazi occult group, as a supposed Aryan emblem. It was later adopted by Nazi religious movements and some SS units. The Black Sun, or Sonnenrad, was another reinterpreted sun symbol. Heinrich Himmler had it inlaid into the floor at Wewelsburg Castle, which he envisioned as a spiritual center for the SS. Today, it remains popular among neo-Nazi groups, although similar sun symbols also exist in unrelated cultural traditions. Triskelion. The Triskelion, an ancient Celtic design of 3 spirals, was repurposed by Nazis and later by South Africa's white supremacist Afrikaner resistance movement. Their version resembled 3 interlocking sevens, which is now strongly tied to white nationalist movements worldwide. Nazi number codes numbers became another form of coded symbolism. 18 stood for Adolf Hitler, 88 meant Heil Hitler. 14 referred to the 14 words, a white supremacist slogan coined by American neo-Nazi David Lane. 111 has been used by prison gangs like the Aryan Knights. Other symbols. The Nazis and their successors employed a wide range of additional symbols, some ancient and some modern. The Atomwaffen Division, a neo-Nazi terrorist network founded in the US in 2016, uses a logo featuring an SS-style shield and a radiation trefoil, deliberately evoking both Hitler's Germany and nuclear apocalypse. The Aryan Fist, originally the raised fist of Black Power movements, was reimagined by white supremacists in the 1980s as a white fist of defiance. Today, it is one of the most common hate symbols in extremist propaganda and tattoos. The fasces, a bundle of rods with an axe blade, originated in ancient Rome as a symbol of power and unity. Mussolini made it the emblem of Italian fascism, and modern American extremist groups continue to use it as a substitute for the swastika. The Hammerskins, a violent skinhead network, chose crossed hammers as their logo in the 1980s, symbolizing both labor and violence. This emblem is now recognized across far-right networks worldwide. The Imperial German flag, black, white, and red, became a fallback for German neo-Nazis after swastikas were banned. Though not inherently Nazi, it is now a coded signal for far-right allegiance. The SA symbol recalls Hitler's brown shirts, the stormtroopers who terrorized political opponents before being eclipsed by the SS. While outlawed in Germany, the monogram still appears among neo-Nazi circles abroad. The hammer and sword emblem was used by the Strasserist Black Front, a rival Nazi faction suppressed by Hitler in 1934. Their radical worker-based vision of fascism lives on in small neo-Nazi splinter groups. Hungary's Arrow Cross movement, allies of Hitler, used a cross of intersecting arrows, responsible for massacres during the Holocaust. Their emblem survives as a global fascist symbol. The Spear of Phinehas, inspired by a biblical story, was promoted by Christian identity extremists as divine justification for racial violence. Its symbol, a stylized P with a crossbar, has been tied to robberies and bombings in the US. The crossed grenade was the insignia of the Dirlewanger Brigade, an SS unit notorious for extreme brutality during World War II. Today, its use by extremists glorifies one of the most feared SS formations. And finally, boots and laces, a code within skinhead culture. Red laces often claimed a racist murder or assault, while white symbolized white power. In this way, even clothing became a covert signal of extremism. For a future video with more depth on each Nazi symbol, hit the like and subscribe buttons and leave a comment below.